That was actually super cool that was the exact direction I needed it to go. Before we put this thing through the chrono and actually see how fast it goes, a little bit about my bow. So I have no idea how fast my bow shoots. This is a 54-inch Tolkien Pika. I know, I don't like that, that my bow can kill a deer. So whatever happens is just for science. 52 pounds at 28 inches. I draw like 29. Is that a pig? That's not quite right. No, it's a small dog. Okay, never seen that dog before. I thought about doing a like setup video, like, oh, here's the chrono, let's set it up. I think that's gonna be about right. And I'm glad I didn't, because I had to like download an app and like all this other weird stuff, and it just would have been really boring. It was really boring, and I was actually doing it, so I can't imagine what it would have looked like on video other than awful. Like I said, I draw 29 inches, maybe 29 and a half, depending on how my shoulders are feeling. So it's gonna be 54, 55 pounds at my draw length. That's the bow. This thing keeps blinking at me, and I'm realizing that I don't have the instructions out here, so I don't know what any of that means. Cell weight quiver, because of course, I feel like everybody who shoots trad has at least one cell weight quiver. My bow is actually way up there on the deck, so that's lame. I gotta go get that. Getting my steps in, I guess. My arrows are very much so in the heavy category. They are gold tip traditional classic blemish arrows, because I'm cheap. Ooh, don't do that. And as far as I know, the only difference between the traditional classics and the traditional classic blemish is the cost, and I guess there's some messed up paint somewhere on them. One arrow length. 3 5-inch feathers when they aren't broken off, because sometimes I get a little plucky on the release, and the 5-inch feather helps keep things flying straight. I'm gonna be standing on a rock. For science, I have a couple other arrows here. Yeah. Cool. An older arrow that I used to shoot. I'm just gonna shoot an arrow through it and see if it's ready for me to do that. Also 3-inch or 5-inch, three 5-inch feathers. We'll get there. Check the app, see if it's connected still. I was actually building these out for a buddy who I finally convinced to get into trad. Hey Ryan, we're gonna see how fast your arrows fly out of my bow. We'll also see how fast they fly out of your bow, but you and your bow aren't here right now. So, all right, whatever, we'll see what happens. Backwards hat, gang. Well, it's working. That's a good shot. 158. For those who have ever been to Three Rivers and you see that whole thing with their dynamic spine calculator, we will compare these results to that later. I'll get on the computer and see what it looks like, but that's actually probably about what I expected. 158. Might be a little faster. I would have probably guessed like 150. Ooh, there's a deer. Let's look at the deer. There he is. See you later, buddy. Little buck. It's flashing at me again. I don't know what that means. 159. Let's see what the other arrows do. Let's start with this arrow. This is another 340 spine. Way less weight up front. Ooh, 175. This is probably like a 600 total weight, and gained 15 feet per second. That's pretty cool. $176. That's funny. Interesting. Okay, next arrow. Yeah, so this arrow is a 500 grain with not a lot of weight, like 140 total up front, and total weight on this arrow is just under 400, like 396, 397. So these are probably gonna be fast. $201. 202. Hot dog, these arrows are zipping. Oh, it says 61. I don't think that's right. Let's do that again. 202. That's fast. I'm a nerd. All right, and just because I like my arrows fly well, I'm going to put one more down here with my arrow, my hunting arrows. Part of me wants to shoot a broadhead and see if that flies any slower, but I'd have to reset all the target and everything, and I don't really feel like doing that. .46 isn't right. 159. That makes sense. Yeah, that's right where the others were. All right. All right, I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I lied. I reset the targets so that I can shoot a broadhead and see if that makes a difference in the speed. And of all of the arrows that I've sent through this thing, I hope that this one doesn't hit the chrono the most. The broadhead is 160. So don't think, broadhead's certainly not slowing it down. Ugh. I shot that pretty high because I was really afraid about hitting the chrono with the broadhead. Which I think is honestly a good thing. 160 with the broadhead again. $157. That one came out a little funny. Probably because I'm terrified of hitting the chrono with a broadhead. Not scared enough to not do it, but scared enough to mess up my form when I do it. Wait, what do all the people do? Ugh.